Alright, looks like it's go time. Nobody here. That's okay. Another 1990 here. This is the one I was supposed to, or planning to do after I finished the previous one last night, but I decided to stop while I was ahead. Give me a chance to win for tomorrow. AMC Rams, Greg Foster. Alright, looks like we've got some regulars already. Let's see which short we're having today. Hey, Alan. Welcome. Let's see. Okay, not that short. How about PP Bus? Okay, it looks like we've got a maybe, hopefully, a repeat of last night. Let's just jump into it, see how we go. These are the sort of jobs that you do like to get. Gonna make up for all the horrors that you don't. Now, Pedro, you're not a regular, you're also irregular. Wait a second, oh, is it tomorrow you're going out? Yeah. Tomorrow you're taking your trip? I don't know. Hey, Raj, Suttlebridge, John. So many screws, and it's not even a complicated one. Hey, Ratko. Joho's here too. Oops, forgot about the big T8s down here, holding the heatsink down. I had a fun job today. I had a HP all-in-one 24-inch, 3 months old, come in, beeping like crazy, and then about after 5 cycles of the beeps, it eventually comes up and says, inappropriate power adapter plugged in. That was fun. I tried all my power adapters, they were all inappropriate too. And then I thought, right, well, fine, worst case scenario, we'll get the data off the disk. Turns out the disk naturally has BitLocker on it. Fortunately, the person did have their BitLocker key on their online, so I was able to plug that drive into another machine and back up the data, all that sort of jazz. We've got a bit of a stickiness situation here, so some sort of Coke or something like that has gotten on there. And anyway, after all that done and dusted, and I removed the BitLocker setting, because consumer devices really should not have, well, really don't need to have that, particularly as a setting that customers aren't even aware of. Anyway, after the end of all that, then I get a message from the customer. We found this power pack in the other room. Was this the one you were talking about? Yep, sure enough. Someone had swapped the power packs, and so instead of the 90 or 120 watt power pack, oh man, yeah, that's Coke. This is going to be fun. Yeah, this one's dead. I'm going to say it now. This one's dead. I don't know if you can see there, but there's Coke on the V-Reg. She's a goner. The reason why this one is showing PP Bus short is probably because the V-Reg blew its brains out. Oh, and someone else has been here. No, someone has actually knocked the cap off here. So they've already knocked that cap off, and that could well have been in the distant past. But now Coke has gotten onto that V-Reg and most definitely destroyed it. Anyway, so yeah, it turned out it was someone in the family had messed around with the machine. So that was a bit of a pointless runaround. That cost them a little bit. They had no qualms about me charging. They actually explicitly said, make sure you charge us, which is always nice. But it was just a bit of a shame that sort of, because I did initially ask, I said, you sure this is the right power brick? Yeah, it feels like it's a bit small. But I know a lot of the new machines can be quite power efficient. They only need like 30 watt supplies. But I don't know, it just didn't sit quite right with me. And in retrospect, I know why. It's because it was a little bit of a dirty looking power brick, whereas the machine is only 3 months old. And when we did get the proper power brick, it was all nice and pristine. So I was like, crap, yep, that's what was making my alarm bells go off in my head. Oh well, I got to work out how to disassemble the machines, and I can tell you this much, they are not nice to disassemble. They're just big clip-in LCD panel assembly. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry. Yeah, knocking off shit like that is not good. Yeah, I'd say that they've come in with a spudger or something like at this sort of angle to try and get that connector off. And these have been replaced. What the hell? Where's my microscope? Plugging in again. Wow. Sorry, folks. Here we go. Anyway, there you go. This is why we're short of. Like I said, these have been replaced. We've got knocked off parts on here. So it's been through a few hands. They look like they've been replaced too. Those are factory. That obviously has been knocked off intentionally because it was the shorted cap at one point. Alright, so we do have a PP bus short. And the question is, where is it? And I'm a little worried it's under that V-Reg. Alright, who wants to take a bet? Reckon it's under the V-Reg? Or do you think it's elsewhere? Either way, it's got to come off. Hey Toby, good to see you too. Hey Macwake. Yeah, I'm hoping it is elsewhere because I'd like to have the money on this job, of course. This is going to be a rare situation where I'm going to flux it up. The reason being is all that drink that's in there, that's going to try and carbonize, and I really don't want it carbonizing. I don't want this board becoming a Han Solo carbonite statue. Hey Greg Foster, transport ECM to deal with this. What? Transport ECM? What's the ECM? Emissions control. Yuck. Yeah, you can see those pins at the back there. Kind of taking a hit. Oh, engine control manager, right. Or electrical countermeasures or electronic countermeasures. It's a fun thing with acronyms. There's plenty of options. Oh yeah, look at this. See these? They're our PP bus, and they're charred. They're not missing, they're charred, they're gone. Look at those balls are just falling off. Oh, crappity crap. So yeah, this thing basically burned. Now if we're really lucky, there might be one or two still viable, and the NANDs might still be viable. This is the sort of job where it kind of pushes past your normal tolerance for what you would do for the amount of money that you charge for a repair. Testifying if you ask for support of right to repair in Washington State. Oh, Ryan Labs. Oh, well. Are you going to have someone like Rossman there with you? Or anyone else? Or how's it work these days? Okay, it's not looking good. I think all of my balls have fallen off. The worst thing is the inner ones have also burned out. Ah, crikey. Alright, let's see what the NAND state is. To be fair, I think the NANDs might be okay, but trying to get them power is going to be the fun part now. No, the NANDs are not okay. 2.3, they are seriously... 2.3 is a NAND internal failure state, and these are probably the SanDisk. I'm going to guess they're the black SanDisk SSD NAND chips. What's going to be a laugh is, yeah, they're the black ones. They seem to die very quickly, these ones. Really not sure. I think the 2.3, like I said, is very much a NAND failure. If it's a board failure or a shorted cap, you're almost always sub 1 ohm. When you get into the higher ohm shorts, that's typically when the NAND has been fried internally. But yeah, what's going to be disappointing with this person is they've had repairs before by the V-regs and things like that, so clearly they've had a few warning shots, so to speak, and stuff still went wrong. There's not much else I can really remove that I can think of. About the only thing I can do at this point is verify that it is actually a NAND failure by injecting power. And honestly, I think it's kind of moot, because we don't even have a effective way of getting power in this. See, this is all just carbonized. Like, even the vias have gone. Hey Miles, how's it going there? What you up to? Wasting time watching this repair? You should do other things, more productive with your life. Don't come around here. Hey, congratulations on getting your wings back there, Ryan. I did always want to be a pilot myself, but I didn't have it in me to do it. properly. Yep, that's cactus, folks. So I guess the question is, do we do the injection just to verify its death, or what? What are you flying, Ryan? Or what are you rated for? Or oh, you can fly commercial. Cool. Will you have to go through a bunch of recertification? Oh, wow, look at this. Just realised that's also burned the display. Yeah, this one's going nowhere. Bit of a shame, like I said. They've obviously had a few wins in the past with success. This time it didn't happen. Yeah, that'll do. And yeah, where's that heat sensor? I'd certainly say it was the Coke that killed it. So you just can't get that kind of thing around the feedback sensor lines and things like that on those V-regs. It's instant death. Back to ferrying airplanes to Australia. Oh yes, I remember you mentioning about that in the past. Oh, come on now. Hey, B-Blood, welcome. Oh, are you flat? Come on. I need to get myself a lithium pack to replace the one that's in here. I should just go down to like the local tobacco store or something like that, see if they've got any used vape. I'm pretty sure the used vape things should do the trick. Although I've noticed a lot of them now use a cylindrical cell, whereas I want the little flat body cells. I used to have hundreds of them when I was doing the model aircraft stuff, but of course, I got rid of them all. Didn't want them floating around in my workshop. No, thank you. Okay, that's good. What? Okay, clearly somebody has unplugged something. It would be me. Here we go. Let's put the power in. 1 point. Yeah, there we go. Straight away, it's the NAND. The NAND is dead. Long live the dead NAND. Dead NAND. Yep. It's dead. Sadly, all too common. That's okay. We've got more machines to fix. Hey, Gabrielle. Well, I think we all come out with our own techniques, but I'm happy for you to see the different things I do and then make your own choices about whether you want to do similar. I get annoyed when people get on YouTube videos and start saying, this is... What the hell is that noise? Yeah, when people start getting around saying, this is the one and the only technique that is right and things like that. Many times there's many different techniques and it's all a matter of your personal style, your strengths, your weaknesses, your equipment, all that jazz. So people who live by there's only one proper technique aren't really my cup of tea. The other thing that's not my cup of tea is having to put this back in. This is why you get charged a bench fee. The thermal resolution was 288 by 160, I believe. You can fake a finer resolution just simply by blending the nearby pixels into each other. So it seems like it's a higher resolution camera, but it's not really. It just simulated, as it were. But yeah, 288 by 160, I'm pretty sure it is. So it's not high end, but it's also not the low end, because a lot of the low end ones are... Oh wait, no, it's 320 by 160. Yeah, a lot of the low ends are... Oh, anyway. It's reasonable. Hey, in your mirror. What are you doing? You see we're getting a bunch of rain up here. It isn't actually landing in Charters Towers at the moment, but it's absolutely flooding Townsville and Ingham and all of the coastal places. What's that? Scope mounted thermal, then downsize, no macro ability. Yeah, I don't have a macro lens on mine either, and yes, there are certainly some times where I wish I did have that. You can put an infrared macro. The downside is that it probably won't work so well on a camera like the FLIR 1 Pro, because they've got the visual camera right next to the infrared camera. And a lot of the macro lenses that you see on the market, they are quite large. Plus you'd also need a roughly equivalent optical version as well as the infrared. I would like to have, say, a dedicated high resolution infrared camera with a macro lens that I can switch on or out, in or out. Because when you want to look at the entire board, you don't want macro, because macro is going to limit you to a small area. And sometimes you don't know where on a large board that heat source is, so being able to capture the whole lot in a single frame is very handy. But of course when you want to get down and find out where the issue is, that's where the macro certainly is useful. because a lot of these shorts, while they may show up in the infrared camera, they're not going to be strong enough for you to do things like a alcohol test or anything like that. They're going to be too subtle. It might only be lifting the temperature by 5 degrees as opposed to 50. To see people use macros on iPhones. How does that work? Or do you mean just for visual? Because if you take the visual element out, then yeah, you can get the infrared macro adapters. I really do just want to throw this back on the shelf and sort of like, I'll deal with that tomorrow or whatever, but I've got to try and train myself to close off jobs when they're finished. This job's finished. Let's close it off, pack it away. I can stick it on the outbound shelf then, and it can go straight into the mailing box and get out of my workshop. Hey Rilla. Got the FLIR E6 at work, 64480. That would be very nice, Minitom. Feel free to send one. What core has that one got in it? Because is that a high-end lepton core, or is it a different core again? My biggest thing is I want to be able to write my own software for it, because I know, they provide their own software, and that's great. But there are often things that you want to do with the data that you've got to get the raw temperature values with. Goddamn Superman hair falling out here. That's a load of bollocks. Particularly if you're trying to catch transients, that's the hard thing. Like, I would like to be able to improve my software so that it can track with the current consumption. So you have the current consumption and the infrared software knows what's flowing through, and so it can actually try and synchronize any sort of transients that are appearing with the current increases. Because at the moment I have to do that visually. You sit there and you watch the current meter and then you watch the infrared output, and you're looking for those blips that keep showing. But if you had the software do it for you, it can then filter out everything that isn't synchronized. Let's see, your Nikon P900 fell off the tripod. Oh, yuck. What lens did you have on that? Hell, half the time the lenses are more expensive than the body. A huge one, great. You almost need to take out a mortgage for some of those ones. Particularly if they're fast ones. I mean, as you know, it's dead easy to get large zoom values. 500,000 millimeter. But actually trying to make it so that they're fast, that's hard. I remember when I got a reflective 500 millimeter for my Nikon FM. I thought, this is going to be fantastic. I'm going to be able to, spot things on the mountaintop over there. And I could, but only if it was an extremely bright day and I had 400 ASA or 1000 ASA loaded into the camera. Otherwise, everything just turned out like murky dark. Oh, you were taking pictures of the comet. Oh, yeah. I've been looking for that, and I've been looking west, but we've mostly had cloud cover. And I would be waiting till anything up to about 9:30 to try and see it. I haven't had any luck finding it yet. 83 optical, 24 to 2000. Oh, jeez. So what was that? $25,000 lens? What f speed was that? At 2.8 or? Most of my photography ended back in the days when, well, I would be developing black and white Ilford films in the bathroom. And it was always kind of hilarious because it was tropical North Queensland. And if you look at the various chemicals that you get supplied with to the film development, they usually list up to about 25 Celsius for their rates. You know, how long you leave it in there to get whatever exposure you want, whether you're over or under. And yeah, they'd stop at about 25 Celsius, but my nighttime temperature was like in the 30. So it was like, it was a real sort of try and hope for the best. Yeah, I had an FM, yeah. FM2N. I don't know what, didn't see the FM2N. You had a f1.2 50mm. That would have actually been really nice and sharp. It's gone. Oh, well, with the Comet, looks like I missed out. Yep. Tesla, so you've taken the lepton core out, and have you gone to somewhere like SparkFun or whatever it is, and I see they've got a lepton carry assembly. Because yeah, I'd like to try something like that, and they do have a developer library for that. So yeah, I'd have fun doing that. Shame to hear it's really noisy though. High school labs were good, yes. We did have one at my school. I didn't get to use it much because I wasn't in the art club, or I didn't do art as part of my school curriculum, other than whatever was compulsory, like in, I think it's grade 8, grade 9, you're forced to have to do art and home economics and things like that, which is fine. But beyond that, I was like, no. I put everything into the traditional STEM top subjects. So like Math 1, Math 2, Science, Physics, Chemistry, Technical Drawing. Alright, you're dead. Technical Drawing was probably the oddity out compared to what some people would use for STEM. But I'm very happy that I kept with it. I did the full 5 years of that. It's a skill that is definitely extremely useful. What do we got? Okay, we've got a 2141 here. Hey Joey, welcome. It's called Pure Thermal, okay. Okay, we've got no screws in here. That's 5 seconds saved. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Disconnect the battery before I get carried away with excitement. All too easy. All too easy. Alright, 2141's basically the same as 1990, just slightly more sensitive. We've got balling up of dust, so it's very likely that we have a short going on. So let's go for it, see if we can find one. Try the usual. Okay, not that one. No. Okay, that side's alright. What about PP bus? That's fine. But we do have this side loaded up as well. Actually, that is the default side of the load up. That's fine too. Yeah. Alright. This one's not, at least at this point, this one is not standard unless it's shorted out a different rail from the traditional 2v5. It could be like a 1v8 or 0v9. Yep, bit of orthographic projection. I never really liked the 45 projection, but the 60-30 was always nice. And perspective, of course, too. At the time I was doing it, AutoCAD version, I think it was 6 or 7 was out. The IBM PS2 was the latest, greatest machine to run that on. And we were especially lucky because we managed to score a 8087, or was it 80287 CoPro on it to make things run really fast. And we had a plotter. We had a really nice 4-color plotter. It was a, what is it? What? Oh man, how can I not remember the brand of the plotters? It starts with R. Rotel? I can't remember. But yeah, it was a really good setup. Yeah, Miles, that was a bit of an interesting one. Be curious to see what it is. I'm not going to try and put any power. Oh, right. What's going on out there? That one?
Yeah. She's such a jerk.
Who'd she attack?
Luna.
Ugh. Hey, Metadata, sabermetric. Yeah, kitty cat fight. We have a fluffy butterscotch ginger, and she has a very bad habit of stirring trouble. She's the red-headed mischief maker. She's a very lovely cat on her own, but she does not play well with others. And don't you just love it how cats can sense when the best time is to maximize the distress in the house to misbehave like that, to, you know, pick fights and things like that, just to really make your day suck. Yep, they got the adrenaline going. I've got the hot flush effect. Get out of there. T8, T8, T8. Or you get things like where you're trying to worm one and you just need everything to stay calm for long enough for them to, you know, eat their worming tablets that you've buried into their food, and someone else in the house decides, I'm going to knock something over, or I'm going to screech, or I'm going to come along and I'm going to start sniffing this cat's butt. That is so maddening when they do that. You're trying to get one to eat something, and one of the others comes up and starts like sniffing the tail and working their way up until the one that's trying to eat sort of goes, stuff it, I'm out of here. It's like, wow, they're just the worst to each other. And it drives you mad. It really drives you mad, because it's like, damn, it's a lot of felines we're looking after here. It'd be a whole lot nicer if they just could be nice to each other a little bit. Instead, it's kind of like a perpetual gang war, and they're all going around at each other like. And that's how they are. And somehow, we seem to still love them. I don't know. Must be toxoplasmosis in the brain. Hi, Gavin Brown. Oh, you've been stuck with the flu. Yeah, that's not good. Not good. Particularly when it's the sort of flu where it just won't abate. And you go, am I going to die like this? Is this the end for me? Yeah, sometimes you can be sick for a week or two easily. And you feel like you're just not making any progress. I think that's the other thing, is that when the sickness just keeps going on and on and on and on, and you're not getting any, well, you don't seem to be feeling like you're getting any better. And some days you just get worse. Dengue fever was like that. Crikey, Gavin, heart attack? Alright, everyone's just dropping bombs around here. Well, I'm glad they caught that. But I suppose now you're permanently on medication and checkups and all that stuff. Okay, what are we looking for here then? I guess the first thing I'm going to do is have a visual inspection across the board. Then, and I'm going to check both NANDs again. And then, if that seems all clear, we'll put power in and see what happens. Now I'm running through this fairly quick. I don't want to get bogged down. While there was a bit of dust on the machine, it wasn't a huge amount of dust. You know, it was more in line with standard. Yeah, a bit of trash around the V-Reg, but again, it's pretty standard. Oh, there we go. There's our fault. That's a 0.9. No, actually, I think that's a 1V8. But yeah, that's what's caused it. And it's gotten pretty hot there. What's the next design project? Nothing at this point. I think I've just got to work on FlexBoard View a bit more. Want to really get it as good as I can before I have a bit of a break. I don't know why I think I'm going to be able to get a bit of a break though. Let's see. So this is 1700. Ach nee man. Okay, that's set to watch in a bit. So it's this one here, which is, oh, it's the 3v3 G3 hot. Ah, okay. I seem to always get that wrong, that one. Let's see, 10 microfarad. 150. Okay. Based on what is on that rail immediately, so we've got 150 4s, 0.1s. it would probably just be okay to knock that off and leave it off. These caps run with like a plus minus 20% tolerance on them. Yeah, I think I would take the route of just leaving it off. It will be okay, but it's also, there are a lot of other caps on this rail. This cluster here supports the chip itself more directly, but there's plenty more elsewhere on that rail. So you can see if you go up here. Anyway, yeah, we'll knock it off, and I have a suspicion that it'll be okay. These caps are okay though. These are just bulk decoupling. Oh, there's another bad one up there though. Could be either of these. I would say it's this one though. This one's borderline, but I'd say it's going to be this one, because I'm pretty sure this is 2v5. We'll check on the big cap, we'll just see which one's shorted. Yep, that one there. That there is on that pad there. What about these guys? 423. That's pretty good, but I am going to replace that cap anyway or just knock it off. Either way, I'm going to clean it up. The problem with this one is just the proximity to the NAND. Like, I mean, it's really close, and if you just push it a bit too far, then you'll start getting the solder under here bubbling out, and that can cause issues that you don't want to have. So I'm making a decision that we're going to go for the tooth puller. You do not pull directly up with these, you just shear it left and right to side. Okay, do not pull them up, and sure as hell don't put any pressure towards the NAND, okay? Just like that. So you got to do, you push down and sort of wiggle slide out that way, keeping a very planar type force. If you pull up, you'll rip the pads. If you go this way, I can guarantee you'll smash the NAND, and then the customer will smash you. And make sure you got the pliers with a sufficiently fine tips on them. Otherwise you'll slip, and it's the last thing you want. Just imagine you were the one in the dentist chair and they slip trying to remove your bad tooth. Okay, you don't want that. Alright, and this one here is sufficiently far away, so I'll actually hot air that off, and I'll consider if I can put it back on. Different people will have different risk options. You know, some people go, you know what, I'm fine doing that. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's your choice to make. When it's in your care, you can decide if you want to take the risk or not. Me, I tend to be very strongly risk averse for this sort of work. The higher priority is to get the data off more than anything else. Okay, B-Bud, take care. I'll see you next time. I'm worried this cap's going to pop, but let's hope not. You can usually get these caps off a little bit sooner than the rest, just simply by grabbing and twisting it a little bit while you're heating it up, and what will happen is it tends to make the solder let go before it actually really is, the rest of them start flowing. Oof, it's a little warm. I haven't forgotten micro, by the way. We're just gonna... Okay, that's all I needed. It's a very sloppy bit of solder, but that's okay because it's not going to be how it stays. Why is there always a hair on there? And these, of course, they're 20 microfarad, 10 volt 402s. They're like crazy high capacity density on those things. I mean, really, it's just ludicrous how much they're cramming into that little chip. It's no wonder that a lot of them do fracture. I do marvel at just simply how they go about, what the process is for producing such amazingly high storage capacitance on these things. Come on, drop down. All good. Okie dokie. We'll just check the short on that, that rail that we had. Make sure it is cleared. 6700, that's good. Don't like that. Should be more than 40, I think. Could be just low, unless it's the 0.9. 32. No, something's wrong on that rail. That's OV9. Oh, actually no, 0.9 volt. Yeah, 0.9 volt rail is often quite low like that, but I want to try and check. OB data says that it should be higher than that. Depends on... flippin' hell, the nans are off this one. We'll test it anyway. Do you have only Mac repairs or some other brands? Mac repairs at the moment, really. $160, I don't like that. I mean, it's hot. The board was hot, so that can influence it. I did a HP all-in-one today. 388. Okay, that's... To be fair, like I said, the nans aren't on this one. Try find one that has got nans. Where the hell are all my 21? Yeah, whatever. Not you. That's weird. Alright, it's gone all the way back up to 350, so that's okay. It just need to cool down. Always good to check though, always good to check. Because if you don't check and you go and just apply the power, and then afterwards you're wondering, oh, was it my fault or was it a dud? And for some people that doesn't matter. For some people they're like, meh, not my problem. Or they'll be like, well, you should pity me because I didn't get the money for the job. And it's like, well, it could have been your fault that you didn't get the money for the job. Hey, custom premise. Good morning to you. Okay, same old story. Get the tape down. Because it is madness to try and reassemble these without tape. We're going for time 22:12, so I've got till I got another 15 minutes or so, but I hopefully won't take that long. At the same time, I don't want to rush. Now, what will happen is, if this boots and everything okay, then I will, just finish up the job later. Even though, I was just talking earlier about how I don't like to leave jobs in a part. Oh, come on. I mean, you can do it without tape. I mean, we used to do it without tape in the early days, but turned out it was a lot easier to just use tape. Even Apple says use tape. Looks like we won't be getting to the 1706 tonight though. Okay, I'm just going to double verify names. Just checking that it beeps. Okay, we're good. Are we? Sorry, paranoia kicking in nice and hard. 600-700s, okay, that's cool. 600-700, 600. Alright, yep. Beyond that, there's not much more I can test. Forgot the Wi-Fi connectors. I like to get them clipped in because they're the sort of thing that could easily get snagged as you move the machine around. And they could easily drift into areas you do not want them to drift into. So better to just lock them down, even if you've got to unclip them later. Okay. Let's check something. Okay. Here we go. 20 volts, good start. Okay, that looks positive. Fans are spinning. Guess what? I didn't plug in the flippin' screen. Easy to forget. There we go. Screen plugged in. Okay, I'm just going to have to tilt it towards me because I have a feeling this is going to come straight up. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Apple logo. And yep, we've got a boot. Cool. Alright, that's fixed. And that will conclude tonight's event. I will put all the screws and everything like that back into it once I'm done dealing with the micro and a few other things. Yeah, that was slightly different. 3v3 rail got shorted out there, and that's not entirely unusual. You do see that sort of like every, well, maybe 10-20% of the time you'll see that 3v3 getting hit. And obviously we wanted to clean up that other rail on the side. That what was it? That was the 0.9 rail, and that was on the side. Even though the caps hadn't already shorted there, that cap was looking like it was a few months away from deciding that's it, I'm out of here, and capping itself, pun intended, I guess. So anyway, that's it for me for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, whenever that may be. In the meantime, you all take care, and I'll see you later. Catch ya.